We're going to be using the Uncle Funky's Curl Stimulator gel. It is a very moisturizing gel with a lot of slip. It's going to provide her with the needed moisture she needs as well as hold. And we're going to top that off with Mousse Def foam, which is going to give her some needed definition as well. We'll be going in parting about 1.5 to 2 inch sections to apply our product, and we started in the nape and we're moving up through the head, and we want to make sure that the hair stays wet throughout. So you want to have a water bottle nearby to keep the hair hydrated, and you'll need your styling products nearby, clips, and you can see how much product we're using, and you can see where her ends are dehydrated. So we're really concentrating on getting those ends covered sufficiently with this first product. We're now going in with one of our favorite styling tools. It is the Felicia Leatherwood brush. It can be used for detangling and styling. We love this brush because it's going to really help to distribute the product through our hair without creating too much shrinkage and frizz, and it will not pull the hair. It gently glides through that hair. Generally, when applying the second product or the topper, we just use our hands so we don't disturb the definition that was created by the brush earlier. And then we go in and we rake and smooth that final product, the topper, in this case, the Mousse Def foam. And we glide through that hair with our fingers, creating separation, and making sure that mousse is evenly distributed on each strand. Because she has mixed texture of hair, and on the ends of each section her curls are a lot looser, I am doing a little finger spiraling to create some bounce up on those areas to really help this whole look blend at the end. So we're continuing with the same partings, about 2 inches deep. And this is so we can have a consistent wash and go where the products are evenly distributed throughout the hair, and you'll have workable sections that you can control. Once again, you can see where those ends are dehydrated, and so we need to hydrate. Get out your water bottle, spray that section, and when you apply product to the hair, it will actually help to lock in that hydration. Now as I add the product to the hair, you can actually see the hair kind of collapse. You can see the definition form with just the application of that first product, even before going in and brushing it through. That's an indication that you have enough product to actually moisturize that hair, help you with definition and longevity. So as a rule of thumb, the more product you use, the more hold you're going to have and the heavier it's going to be on the hair. So you need to gauge according to the client's texture, porosity, and also their desired look. The more product, the heavier, so the less volume. If you're going for maximum volume, you would use a lot less product, and even on her texture, you could go in with mousse or a very light serum only to get a really big, full look on day one. Here you can kind of see the product collecting on her hair. Sometimes this means we need to go in and clean our hands so we will not have a buildup of product left in the hair. But once you know the product and the combinations of product and how it works on your client's hair, you don't have to be too concerned about this, because a lot of times with drying, the product absorbs right into the hair. Once again, on your areas that seem not to curl up or bounce up like the rest of your curls, don't be afraid to go in and do some finger spiraling or coiling to give you more of a defined curly look. Most of the time around the face and bang area and face framing, this is where we're going to see the most impact with those curls. So this is where we tend to do the finger coiling or spiraling. Now as we approach the crown area, we can start actually parting our section. We can actually see a visual of what your section looks like through the section. If you can't, that means that section is too thick. So I want a little more volume on her side. You may not have see how I'm brushing that section up, kind of lifting that root up. That's going to create some lift and some volume. At this point, you can continue to work from side to side throughout the style. You can decide whether you're doing a middle part, whether you're styling the hair all back naturally and let it fall where it wants to naturally. You make that decision. So at this point, you have the technique down, and we're going to move along. Just as a reminder, we're putting that Uncle Funky's Curly Custard, a curl stimulating gel, on as our first product. No leave-in needed in this case, just the Uncle Funky's gel or your gel of choice or your serum of choice. And then we're doing a topper with the mousse. And that is Mousse Def by the Let's do a recap. You can use whatever product you like depending on your desired look. You would want to use a heavier product if you want more defined, tame curls. If you want a more voluminous look from day one, you would go in with a very light product, maybe a serum. a mousse or just a leave-in, but you would go through the same process to make sure each curl is defined. And although you have a lot of volume, the curls would still be defined and bouncy. And also remember, the areas where you want extra volume and you want to create lift at those roots, make sure you're taking that brush and you're lifting those roots as you distribute that product. And also as you do your raking and smoothing, make sure that hair is elevated. A lot of us experience frizz and puffiness around the face and frontal area because this is where we conduct heat. So make sure you really get that product down to the root area and smoothed into those edges to prevent that frizziness. So curlies and pros, we've made it through this wash and go. And now the most important part of a wash and go is the drying process. So we'll talk about how we're going to dry our hair and some options when you're drying your hair or your client's hair. So we decided to go in and diffuse with her laying back. This is going to create volume at the roots. So this client was going for definition, a very good hold that would last her at least a week. So we went in with heavier products, but now we're drying with a diffuser to make sure she has some volume. We will diffuse her hair until it is about 50% dry, and then we'll put her under a hooded dryer. Let's talk about some options. Your clients with finer hair who wants lots of volume, no matter what their texture is, most of the time we'll go in and we'll diffuse from beginning to end, making sure that the hair is being diffused with the hair falling away from the scalp. So whether the hair's reclined back or forward, this is going to create more volume. So for our coily girls that really get a lot of shrinkage and maybe have a hard time getting defined curls and coils, sometimes the diffuser would not be the best choice for you because this is going to create volume and fluff, which equates to shrinkage, and also your curl definition or coil definition on this texture is important to do. So covering, you should opt to go 100% of the time under the dryer because her hair is not the type of hair applying your product. You also want to avoid touching the hair with your hands with the eliminate. There's actually a product that has also to actually make contact with the product cast and that maybe covering and so frizzing. We have the dryer on high air speed and medium to high heat. As long as the diffuser is not coming in contact with the hair
as you diffuse, whether
the high
this is your
heat
client
is fine.
or whether this
Once
is the
you
curly
start
doing
to make
her own
contact
hair,
with the hair,
this is going to
you will
create
want to adjust
some volume
the
and
setting
movement at the root,
to low
and
or
this
medium.
is going to help the hair not lay flat on the roots and give you a little volume. It's also going to help you to dry every area of the hair from every angle. As I start making contact with her hair as I'm trying to dry the root area, I made an adjustment to the speed as well as the heat level. So I put the speed down on medium to low so as not to cause excess frizzing and not to incur any dehydration with too much heat. Now that she is completely dry, we are breaking the product cast with a very light oil by InnerSense called I Create Shine. This product is a very good product, light. It will not weigh the hair down. It also will not cause buildup on the hair. To create more volume, you can go throughout the head and separate the curls kind of one by one, not pulling your hands through the curls, but separating them one by one throughout the entire head. Once you have carefully gone through and separated each curl sectioning, you can now grab a pick and go to that root area and create volume by lifting the root area throughout the whole head. And you do not want to pull the pick all the way through the ends of the hair, especially with this texture of hair. Concentrate on creating volume at the roots. Now for the finished product. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here, and we hope you were educated, motivated, and empowered.